What we have here is the new SKIGO base scraper, along with the SKIGO Pink Paper pack. We'll be talking about these today in the video. First, we're going to talk about the new SKIGO base scraper. It comes in its own case, help keep it safe and clean when you're working with it. Inside, comes with instructions and some background information. Of course, there is also the scraper, which is being kept safe here, along with a tool that we'll be using in a moment. The SKIGO base scraper, as you can see here, has a nice hard holder, and that's so you can get your hands on it when you're working with it. On the back side, we have the actual scraper here. And, as you can see, we have on the metal scraper 4 edges, 4 corners, that have all been given a special edge. This special edge has been deburred using a special process that actually has a patent on it. If, after you've scraped many skis, you want to change the blade to have another edge go at it that's sharper, we take it, flip it over, use the Allen key or the hex key that comes with it. You want to put the short end in to the hex screw so that you have the long lever, because these should be in tight. Alright, so once they are out, you have the blade. Simply flip it over, watching the edges are sharp, you don't hurt yourself. Line the holes back up again. Get the screws started in there. Get the hex key back in. Give a few more turns to make it tight, because you do not want the blade to be moving on its own. You want it only to be moving with the holder that's in your hand. And there. It's done. And ready for you to scrape them with some. Okay, so I have an old pair of skis I've dug out of the basement here. I'm going to be using the SKIGO scraper on the back. What I want to do, I'll start from here just because it's in frame with the camera. You hold it square to the ski and at about a 10-degree angle. You'll feel as it lifts up that the scraper will come up. Hold with both hands, apply a light pressure down, and then you're going to be pulling towards you. Now we want to do this along the whole ski. You can see some of the base is starting to come off. It's not peeling off very clean because I have neglected these skis in the basement for many years at this point. But we want to do this across the entire length of the entire ski. As we go, and we do this repeatedly, we'll start to get more and more of it off the ski. Now, if you have some waves in the ski, from some bad scraping or from some iron use, besides keeping it square to the ski, you can turn it at about a 33 or 45 in either direction with the same amount of downward force, and that will help to start taking those waves out. Then as you come along, you can keep pulling And as you look at the base, you'll see that the high spots are coming off. The low spots are remaining behind because the ski isn't square. Because this is a nice, fine, very stiff, straight blade, you'll eventually get this down to being a flat ski. A flat ski will not only be easier to wax, but easier to control. And, more importantly, go faster. Whoa. I left this ski in the basement way too long. Good thing this came along. So, normally we wouldn't work in just this short section, do the whole ski, but the camera is only so wide. Okay, here's another angle of the scraping on the ski, from the end of the ski. Take the scraper, hold it at 90 degrees or square to the ski, apply downward pressure, pull. Now, you'll notice when I'm gripping this, I'm gripping it on the outside, and I'm putting even pressure on both sides. If I put too much pressure on one side, I'll scrape the ski deeper on this side, or the other side, and then you don't have an even base. Try and keep it that way, and pull. Now, if you have any waves in the ski, remember you want to turn it at a bit of an angle, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, either side, mix it up to both sides to help you get that square ski. Now, remember to clean the bottom of the scraper off as you build up base material. Eventually, as you look at the base of the ski here, you'll start to see that the scraping of the scraper is getting even, and any little low spots will start to rise up, and you'll be able to work on the ski to get it nice and flat. The next part, of course, will be the pink papers. The other thing we're going to talk about today are the SKIGO Pink Papers. This is the pink paper pack, which is what you'll start with. It comes with a special sanding block as well as the pink sanding papers. And just a note ahead, you can get refills for these later. The pink paper is very special. It's at 3 microns. This means you'll get an extremely burr-free surface on the bottom of your ski to reduce drag. This is one of the things that can get you that little bit extra out of the glide of the skis, particularly in colder weather and in dirtier snow. So, if we open it up, take a quick look at the wedge here. The sanding block is in a wedge shape. Special smooth surface for attaching the pink papers to the back, because the pink papers are sticky on the back. Sort of like band-aids. We'll peel it away, stick it on here. The wedge itself is ergonomically gripped by your hand to make it easier, so as you're going across the ski, you can do your work easily and, more importantly, keep it square. Now, there is a little bit of flexibility in this, so if your skis aren't completely perfect, it will work on them. But remember, this is a 3 micron paper, so it's not going to take any material off in vast amounts to flatten your ski. That's what we were using the SKIGO base scraper for earlier. So, I'm going to take the wedge and one of the pieces of SKIGO Pink Paper. What we want to do is line it up on the bottom to see that it's going to orient right. One end's a little wider than the other. If we have it the wrong way, then you'll see one end has a little bit of black around it. So switch it around. From here, peel up one of the edges. Just want one so that we have control over the stickiness of this paper. Put that end down, line it up, flip it open, get the next edge here coming up, peel it away, push it down. I'm pushing in the middle, trying to push all the air out. That way we get a good solid stick of the pink paper to the sanding block. Now, because it's so fine, at 3 microns, it's not going to hurt your hands. It's going to feel very, very smooth. So now, let's go do some work on that. So now, we're going to go and take our SKIGO Pink Paper sanding block and do some work on that ski. We want to take the wedge with the 3 micron sandpaper on the bottom here, the pink paper, and work back and forth across the entire length of the ski for about 15 passes. Putting even pressure back and forth across the entire ski. In a way, this is almost like polishing the ski. Then, after you've gone back and forth 10, 12, 15 times, you should be able to see on the ski, on the bottom of the sandpaper, it's no longer pink. It's got little bits of the base material it's been picking up. Now the last 4 passes go in the direction of the ski. And now, if you take your glove off, and you run your fingers across it, back and forth, you should feel like your fingers are almost floating, because it is so smooth on the bottom of your ski now. Today we talked about 2 things from SKIGO: the base scraper, which comes with its own case to keep it safe, and the SKIGO Pink Papers. The base scraper helps get your skis flat and square, making it easier for you to wax your skis, and should also be better for your skis as you're gliding along to go faster and have better control over them. The SKIGO Pink Papers at 3 microns, which is very tiny, helps you remove that micro amount of burr material hanging off the ski, which is going to drag and cause you to go slower in cold snow, in dry snow, and in dirty snow. You can use the pink papers after you use the scraper, or you can also use it after you've done any base structuring with rillers or rollers. That way you won't have material dragging out. You can see from our earlier work that we did, as we compare the 2 sheets, the fine amount of work that this 3 micron took off. That was hanging off the ski. That was slowing you down. So, with these 2 products here, these help you make your skis go faster.